Hi everyone, welcome back to the Wheels Up podcast. My name is Frankie, this is my co-host,
Mary.
Yeah. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the Wheels Up podcast. And yeah, so today we're going to be taking a personality test as one of the show's most beloved characters,
Hotch.
Aaron Hotchner. I don't know. Is there a real purpose to this? We're not gonna find. I feel like
There's no purpose.
We won't find out things that we already don't know about Hotch.
Yeah.
Or maybe we will. This is very similar to when we'd be in history class, and I would find out teacher signs, and then be like, oh, that makes so much sense.
Yeah, you would definitely rationalize it backwards.
And then 5 minutes later, I found out I had their birthday wrong.
And then you're like, oh no, wait, this one actually makes more sense.
Okay.
Top-down processing at its finest.
I'm just gonna screen record this. File, new screen recording.
I don't think I would know how to screen record on my computer.
Oh, it's already installed on there.
Yeah, I wouldn't know how to open it.
I'll show you later. I think we're recording. Yeah, we're recording. Okay. So as you can see, now I'm forcing myself to edit this in. As you can see, we're on this website, 16personalities.com.
Your computer's on 69%.
Anyways, actually, before we start, we actually have the same personality type according to this test, which is INFP.
I think the test is biased towards giving you INFP.
Why?
Because a lot of people have INFP, and there's jokes about it on TikTok. I saw this TikTok the other day, and it was like, some people actually believe that they are INFP.
Oh, yeah, because it's different, right? Because this isn't the official test.
Yeah, it's shorter and it's free.
It works probably based on statistics.
As long as Hotch doesn't get INFP, it's probably accurate.
Yeah, because we cannot be the same personality type as Hotch.
I think we could. Oh yeah, I was gonna say we couldn't be the same personality type. I was like, I think we could be.
Okay, so yeah,
Can I ask what this is?
Oh, it's a hard drive.
Okay.
Literally all of the episodes of this podcast are on this thing.
Let me just
yeet it. If someone were to steal this, we're fucked.
I mean, they are on YouTube already.
Yeah, but we can't get the files.
Okay.
Also, my YouTube stuff's on this. Stuff I haven't posted yet.
Yeah.
Also, the original design logo of our podcast is on this. This
That's
is going
very
to be worth
important.
a lot of money soon. Anyways, okay. Let's just start. The personality test is Hotch. You enjoy
lots of people. I'm gonna go with disagree.
Unless it's literally just the team having a party after.
Yeah, that's where I'm it's not just his friends. It's lots of people. So maybe middle disagree.
Yeah. It's a very specific type of people, because we've seen him in social events and it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time, if he's not if it's on his free time, he wouldn't go out with a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
You often spend time exploring unrealistic and no.
Well, I mean, for his job or just in his life.
You often spend time exploring. Yeah. I mean, but in I think with that job, it's not unrealistic.
He doesn't think they're unrealistic.
Yeah, because it's
the audience thinks they're unrealistic.
The science. The science of profiling, to him, it's very real.
Yeah.
And me too. Honestly, I believe in profiling. I think it works.
Okay.
Probably not in the same way that it does in Criminal Minds, but I think to an extent it works.
Well, I think the profilers don't also track down the criminal and then tackle it.
Literally, according to Criminal Minds, the BU is the entire FBI.
Oh yeah. They don't need anybody else.
It's literally just the database, and that's the most they get from the FBI and funding. But that's literally it. So would we say disagree again in the same spot, or?
Yeah.
Okay. Your travel plans are more likely to look like a rough list of ideas than a detailed itinerary.
Doubtful.
Full disagree, I feel like.
Yeah.
You often think about what you should have said in a conversation long after it has taken place.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I think he says what he means to say most of the time.
I've never seen Hotch as a character do that thing of like accidentally yelling at someone and then being like, yeah, I'm sorry I said that.
Yeah.
I've never seen him do that. I've seen like pretty much every other character just, and I've never seen him. I mean, he's probably unintentionally gotten angry at someone, but I've never seen him do it in the way you've seen people do.
Yeah. And also, I feel like normal people sometimes there's like at least some things they say where there's like no filter and they don't think about it a second time. But I feel like he thinks about everything he says like at least 3 times.
Honestly, it's scary.
It's just very fast.
It's scary. I don't like it.
Okay, so disagree?
In the same spot or the full spot?
I think the same spot.
Okay. This one or this one?
Yeah.
This one? Yeah. If your friend is sad about something, read. Your first instinct is to support them emotionally, not to try to solve their problem.
He would definitely try to solve the problem though.
Let's think about like a very specific situation in which he's had to help another, like.
He did ignore Reed's addiction. No, he told him to go to the AA meeting, didn't he?
Yeah. I think Hotch knows that emotionally he isn't the most like available person.
Mm-hmm.
So he's probably like, oh, one of my friends has a problem. I'm gonna try to like do a logical solution.
Yeah.
And the fact that his friendships intertwine so much with his like job, it's probably more of like I'm gonna be like 90% friend, 10% boss. Of like, also I have to help you like fix this because
I think an example of that, and that's also probably because he is like the head person, but like when the team goes through something traumatic, he doesn't have, maybe he has a one-on-one conversation with them, but he's mostly like, okay, you need to go see the like therapist for the FBI, and he doesn't like have a emotional conversation with them about it usually.
Oh yeah, I've never seen, well I mean he probably's done it once or twice, but like I think it's different. He's like the opposite in that sense of like Emily or like JJ, who like if they saw you sad on the jet would be like, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
Hotch would already know what your problem is and tell you what to do.
Yeah, he'd send you an anonymous email.
He'd send you a memo. Okay,
He'd fax you.
I'm gonna check if it's still recording because I'm nervous that I did. I get very anxious that I didn't.
He would fax you on the jet. Like, I heard you've been upset.
On the jet? You're sitting next to each other, he tells you to go up to the printer that's on the jet.
Go to the fax.
Check what that is.
He sends Reed an anonymous email, hey, go check the fax.
God. Okay, so I think it's like a pretty, is it this one or this one? I think it's this one.
I think it's a small one.
Okay.
Because, like, his son, he's emotional with.
People can rarely upset you. That's true, I feel like.
Yeah, I think that's true.
That's so true. I'm trying to think, cool, because one, he works with so many unsubs, he has to have some sort of
He has a thick skin, yeah.
And also he's not the type of person who acts on just emotion. So I think it's full on, like...
I mean, can you think of a time in the show where, like, he was upset, not because, like, something bad happened to somebody, but because of, like, someone's actions? Except for, like, Haley leaving.
And her dying.
No, that's not like that. That's not an action she took. That's something bad that happened to someone. That's why I put that precursor on there.
I mean, I can think of times when he got mad at like other team members, but I can't.
That's true.
I can't think of times when he was personally hurt by someone else's actions. Because I remember one time, like Reed was getting all like fussy because he related to one of the unsubs, and he like yelled at like a witness. And Hotch was like, "You gotta get yourself together." But I can't think of a time when Hotch was like.
Yeah, I was just thinking about like sad, but anger is definitely also like upset. So maybe the middle one, middle agree.
I mean, I would go even more, but just. Well, because I can't think of a time when, like, Hotch was hurt by someone. He's been mad a shit ton.
Yeah.
But
I think mad also counts as upset. Like, your emotions have been, like, affected by another person and their actions,
Okay.
So I think, like, I agree with you. Like, the sad, he hasn't, like, on the show that we've seen, he hasn't really been super, like, sad, like, affected, but he's definitely gotten, like, angry.
I can think of one time he's been hurt. I think the only time I've ever seen him hurt was when Haley's father came over and they were trying to send him to a home, and then he was like, "You're the reason my daughter is dead."
Oh yeah, that's true.
But that's really hard.
That's a really extreme.
That's
a very extreme thing.
Okay, so we're with this one?
Yeah, I do middle.
Okay. You often rely on other people to be the ones to start a conversation and keep it going.
I feel like he can do it if he has if he's at work and he has a purpose and he knows he needs to like if he's interrogating someone or like interviewing the subject, or he needs to talk about the unsub. But I feel like in his personal life he'd be able to start a conversation, but he's not as good at keeping it going. But as other people would be.
I'm trying to think of a normal conversations he's had.
I mean, the only conversations I can think of that aren't with the team about work are when he's talking to someone about Jack.
Okay, should we go with a middle agree or disagree?
I think small agree.
Okay.
Because he can do it if he has to.
He has. If you have to temporarily put your plans on hold, you make sure it is your top priority to get back on track as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I can't think of him getting off track in the first place.
Imagine.
Imagine Hotch not being on task.
Imagine the type of life where you don't procrastinate at all.
That's Hotch's life.
Wow. That's why I can't relate.
But that's literally, but then you gotta think about him as a person. He has nothing. Outside of his job. He has his
and his kid.
But that's really it. He can't, because the whole thing of Haley leaving him, and then he has Jack. He doesn't really have other friends. We've never seen Hotch with friends, by the way. I'm just realizing this. We've seen Reed.
The team are his friends.
Okay. Can I tell you?
Wait, who are Reed's friends?
We've seen him with extras that are pretending to be his friends while he's out and hanging out.
Have we?
Yeah, we have. I know for sure. But the chess people at the park.
Oh yeah, Reed does have friends. Wait,
people.
I'm just trying to reconcile the fact that Reed has more friends than
Hotch.
Hotch.
But the thing is, if Reed didn't have friends, it'd definitely be out of social ineptitude.
Mm-hmm.
With Hotch, it's a choice.
Oh yeah,
he could make friends if he wanted.
He could be very charismatic if he wanted to.
But no, because
But the team are his friends.
That's not healthy. Can I say something? It's not healthy for you to have friends that are if they're only coming out of one source besides school. Because when you're a kid, it's hard to know people outside school. But if you're an adult, come on, get out. I agree. So we'll agree on staying on track and keeping it top priority to get back on track.
Oh yeah.
I can't say this word. You rarely worry if you made a good impression on someone you met. Do you think Hotch cares? Okay.
I think if it was just a random person, he wouldn't care.
Yeah.
But if it was someone that maybe a new coworker or a distant family member or something, I don't know. I think he'd care.
But the thing is, I think that's everybody pretty much.
Yeah.
My thing is that I don't think he gives much of a shit. Because you remember when Emily came in for the first time, and she was like, "Oh, I think I work here," and he was like, "Get out."
Well, I
didn't sign any paperwork.
I think that's different because he didn't think she was going to be a coworker, and he was trying to get her to leave. Someone he's never gonna see again, he doesn't care. He'll definitely he doesn't give a shit about the local police's opinion of him.
No one does.
But people he's gonna see again, I think he cares.
Yeah. True. I think it's honestly, I feel that's everyone though, and I feel we should put that neutral middle.
Yeah.
Because I feel just that's everyone. It would be a challenge for you to spend the whole weekend all by yourself without feeling bored. No. You don't think so?
I feel he wants to spend the whole weekend by himself. Him and Jack.
I'm trying to think, because I feel there is a part of me that thinks, oh yeah, he would do really great in solitude. But then there's also that part of me that's he does a really action-heavy job, and there's a reason why he's kept that up. I feel to some extent, there's a part of him that needs that action of adrenaline and But I don't know. I think he could do it. I don't think it's to be a challenge.
I feel he'd definitely be doing paperwork and stuff over the weekend. He'd be working on the job.
I think it's a middle disagree. Or do you want to go full disagree? I'm okay with both.
I think middle disagree is fine.
You're more of a detail-oriented than a big picture person. This is an interesting question. Because
he cares about the big picture and the details, though.
It's part of his job! I mean, when you're at the BAU, you have to be detail-oriented. It's all in the details. I'm trying to think if he's a person who struggles with... Because I think people who are big picture worry less about what's going on at the moment. Because they're very much... They can see, like, the future. It's, in the end, a lot of stuff doesn't matter. I think to a certain degree he is, just because he tends to rationalize. I feel like he rationalizes stuff really well, and you never really see him, like, get really mad out of nowhere, or, like, worry about, like, the little stuff.
I do maybe think he doesn't think super far in the future, maybe, and that's more of, like, a big picture thing, like the whole Haley thing.
Yeah.
He was definitely, like, making decisions, like, in the moment, instead of, like, thinking about,
That's
like,
true.
the future of his relationship. And when he left so suddenly.
Should we put, like,
I think he's more detail-oriented.
What?
I don't think big, but small or middle.
I feel like small.
He definitely also has a big picture, just not as much as detail, I think.
You're very affectionate with people you care about. Yeah!
Should we include Jack or not? Does that count?
I mean, but that's his, like, son.
Yeah, I don't think that counts.
He's not very affectionate with people outside of Jack.
Yeah.
His
love language is glaring.
His love language is saving your life. I think it's a bit disagree. Yeah, it's definitely a big disagree because if outside of caring about Jack, the people you care about would be like.
There's also like a big difference between like Hotch level affection and like regular person level affection.
That's true.
So like we're kind of biased because we see him slightly smile and we're like, oh, he loves them. So yeah, big disagree.
Big disagree. You have a careful and methodical approach to life. Yeah, absolutely. That's a big agree.
That's definitely true.
The only time I haven't seen him really think about something before doing it is when it was like a Haley situation.
Oh yeah.
That's the only time. And I think anyone would be just going insane at that moment. So it's a big agree.
Mm-hmm.
You were so bothered by the mistakes you made a long time ago. Here's the thing. The standards of what we call mistakes are very different from what we consider mistakes and Hotch's mistakes.
Oh yeah.
Because I would say, I mean, he to me though, in general, he kind of reads as someone who holds grudges a little bit. Just because I feel like he doesn't emotionally process stuff well. Yeah.
Remember how upset he was with himself, that he couldn't, what was the name of the unsub that killed Haley?
It wasn't Scratch, was his name?
No, it wasn't Scratch. It was the Reaper.
The Reaper.
Remember when, like, the first Reaper episode, when, like, because he and the other guy, they didn't catch him.
Yeah.
Originally, and he really, like, he was upset with himself for that. I remember that.
Yeah. I mean, I think he absolutely does, because I think a main reason he kept his job after Haley died was that he knew, like, he liked saving people.
Yeah.
And I think it'd kill him to know that, of course, until like the very end when he really had to go. But it'd kill him to know there are people he wasn't saving that he could save out there.
Yeah.
So I think it's a big agree. At parties and similar events, you can mostly be found farther away from the action. I think so.
The only parties we've seen him with are with his, like, 6 closest friends. So I don't know if we have a good...
I say full-on agree, because think about it, the scene that comes to mind is when they're at the karaoke bar, and Hotch is, like, just the one in the crowd, and, well, most of him's on stage.
Yeah.
Singing. He doesn't...
Yeah. I think maybe middle agree, because he is more close to the action when it's people that he, like, all knows.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's also a party. So I think it's middle.
My thing is, I agree too, just because he probably wouldn't want to, but he could handle himself.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be like Reed, who doesn't want to and couldn't handle himself. Yeah. You often find it difficult to relate to people who let their emotions guide them. Yeah. Yeah.
Or that yelling at Reed moment comes to mind. He's like, get a hold of yourself.
Absolutely. Because
I know you were bullied severely as a child, but get a handle on it.
God. Yeah, that's a pretty. Do you think that's a middle degree or a big degree?
Mm-hmm. You choose.
No. Yeah, I think it's a big degree.
Okay. Yeah.
Actually, no, it's a middle because I don't want him to come off as like sociopathic or something like that. There's a.
What if it's like not even letters? It's just sociopath.
To be fair, I think he has to be able to relate to a certain degree because a big part of like profiling is being to empathize with like the unsub.
That's true.
To a certain degree, he's able to do it.
When he is relating to people in a clinical way, he can do it. He can like factor in emotion into the equation. But if he's like people he like knows and there's like an emotional thing there and he's like not using an equation, then he can't.
I think it's a middle degree.
Yeah.
When looking for a movie to watch, you can spend ages browsing the catalog.
No.
Really?
I think I don't think he'd care all that much.
I don't think he watches movies. I'm trying to think. Again, I can't imagine what movies do you think Hotch likes? Because he is a human being. So he has movies.
I feel like he likes black and white movies.
Oh my god! Do you remember when him and Gideon watched like old silent films together?
Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Old men. Jesus.
Was it like comedy or something they were watching?
Yeah, they were watching like I forgot what that person's name is. A really famous like silent actor.
Is it Charlie Chaplin?
Yeah, Charlie Chaplin. You could spend ages browsing the catalog.
See, I think he'd like look at the first 10 and be like, "This is good. I don't want to waste more time on this. I could be working now," and then he'd put it in. Like, I've been ordered to take an hour rest.
Yeah. Okay. Is it a middle disagree or a full disagree?
I don't think it's a full disagree.
Okay.
But I also don't really like doing full disagrees.
I think our personality's seeping into the test. Okay, I'll do middle disagree. You can stay calm under a lot of pressure.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah. Unless it's the whole Haley situation. I've never seen him act in
The Haley situation is an extreme. I don't even know if we should factor in.
It's true. Yeah. I think it's a fat agree.
There's a difference between pressure and severe emotional and psychological trauma.
It's true. When in a group of people you do not know, you have no problem jumping right into their conversation.
See, the thing is, if he's at work and he's like, it's like the police officers and he like needs to correct something, then yes.
He's no problem.
If it's a social situation, probably not.
Probably not.
Not because he couldn't. I just don't feel like he'd want to.
He doesn't want to. So he does have a problem. So I think it's like either a small or middle disagree.
I think small disagree. Because if he needed to, he could.
Yeah. I mean, Hotch has the ability to do a lot of things once it pertains to the job.
Yeah.
When you sleep, your dreams tend to be bizarre and fantastical.
Wouldn't it be funny if he just had like crazy dreams? Just like riding around on a unicorn or something? And that would be hilarious. Like there's just like a scene and he's like talking to Emily and Emily's like, "Oh hey, what's up?" And he's like, "Oh, I had a dream that I was a leprechaun last night."
I don't think he'd tell anyone if that happened.
I know he wouldn't. That's why I'm like, maybe.
But I mean, the thing is with dreams, they have to come from like someplace.
Yeah.
And I doubt Hotch thinks about leprechauns or unicorns that often.
That's true.
I think it's honestly
they're probably nightmares.
They're I was gonna say it's sad, but thare probably nightmares. I mean, I think most of the team.
Maybe the nightmares are fantastical.
No, I think the nightmares are just literally his family dying because of unsubs.
Why are you gonna make everything
Because it's
so
true.
sad?
It's true.
Okay.
I think it's a fat disagree.
Fine.
I think it's nightmares like.
There's no reason to think that he would have whimsical dreams.
That's true.
But I want to believe it.
Too bad. In your opinion, it is sometimes okay to step on others to get ahead in life.
I think small agree.
I think Honestly, here, I'll say...
I don't feel like he'd fully, like, fuck someone over and, like, make it so they couldn't get a job again or whatever, but I feel like he'd, like, try his best to, like...
I'm trying to think. I honestly, I'm leaning towards disagree, because remember the time when Reed got kidnapped? And it was a whole, like, Dilaudid situation.
Yeah.
And he had to pick someone to die on the team.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went Hotch, and he was like, oh, because he's a narcissist, he puts himself in front of the team.
Mm-hmm.
And then Hotch was like, you know how that was a clue. Like, Reed didn't mean that. And Hotch was like, oh, I never put myself before the team. Which is solid. That's true.
That's true. You know what? I think I was thinking that, like, trying your best to, like, get ahead, but, like, that's different than, like, making it so someone else can't.
I think...
Or maybe it is disagree.
Hotch tries his best to get ahead, but I don't think he'd ever knowingly step on someone. Maybe accidentally screw someone over.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I hope people don't watch this podcast and think I'm mean to you. Sometimes I feel like I'm being mean.
She's mean to me all the time.
Shut up!
You should be nicer to me.
Remember that TikTok trend of literally going up to your significant other being like, you could have been nicer to me today? I honestly, sometimes I hate those trends. Sometimes they're funny, but sometimes it's little like, that's kind of mean. It's kind of scary sometimes.
Most of my TikTok feed isn't trends. It's just like ratatouille.
Oh god. Way too deep in.
Did you know 2020 is the year of the rat?
Good thing it's ending soon.
Hey! But it's your year. I cracked myself up.
This is gonna be one of those like, what I feel like someday our podcast is gonna end because maybe we're both adults and we like move on with our lives or something like that, and someone's gonna make a compilation with like theories of why we ended the podcast, and it's because we hated each other secretly. Okay, so I think it's like it's a middle disagree.
Yeah.
I don't think he...
Yeah.
Oh, this one. You were dedicated and focused on your goals, only rarely getting sidetracked.
Agree.
It's a fat agree. If you make a mistake, you tend to start doubting yourself, your abilities, or your knowledge.
Yeah, I feel like you would. Maybe not a whole lot. Maybe just a little agree.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's definitely there.
This is definitely like Reed's fat agree. Because as soon as he makes a mistake, he's like out of it.
Oh yeah.
I feel like if we were taking this as for Reed, it'd be a lot more sad.
I don't want to do Reed because we already did 2 episodes focused just on Reed.
What was the other episode?
The 2 trauma episodes.
Oh yeah, sorry.
We really started the podcast with 2 trauma episodes.
I think it's a great start. It's a small agree?
Yeah, I think so.
When at a social event, you rarely try to introduce yourself to new people and mostly talk to the ones you already know.
Oh yeah.
That's literally everyone on the team.
Yeah.
I've never seen anyone on the team socialize. Think about it.
Except for when the girls go out for drinks.
But then they still only talk to each other, and then they'll like every time a guy tries to hit on them, which I don't think this is wrong. I think it's hilarious, by the way. I love it. But every time a guy tries to talk to them, they just prank them.
Yeah.
I think it's amazing. It's great, but you know, yeah. I think this is like a middle agree. You usually lose interest in a discussion when it gets philosophical. That's an interesting question.
I think he could get philosophical.
It depends on. I think it depends.
I don't think he'd be like philosophical like all the time.
Yeah. He's very. I think he's very like logic based. It depends on the conversation.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he's had plenty of philosophical conversations with people on the team.
I feel like in that job, you can't really avoid getting philosophical to a certain extent because you're just facing so much like horribleness. You have to have some way to like rationalize that with yourself, you know?
Yeah. Do you remember that end of that episode where for once it wasn't like a quote, it was just Hotch doing the outro? It was the that episode with on the farm with the 2 writers.
Yeah.
And he was like, how many times can my team members look into the abyss before they lose themselves? And
see?
It's pretty damn. I think it's like a small disagree. Or do you think it's a medium disagree?
I think small. I think most of the time he is logical.
I know the answer to the next question.
What's the next question?
You would never let yourself cry in front of others.
Yeah.
That's a fat agree. I feel like there's so many times where I wish Hotch would have cried.
Yeah.
Because it probably would have been just so much healthier for him.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only time we see him crying for others was when Haley died.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think we even saw him cry at the funeral. Just standing there. Does the man ever feel? It's so sad because it's really like first like seasons 1 and 2 that we really see him like be a person, and then after that it's kind of like, oh shit.
Yeah.
You would never let yourself cry. Yeah, right. That's honestly a big gripe with me is that like I love Hotch, but sometimes I wish he had left earlier because there was like at the end, towards the end especially, there was like so many moments where just leave because I think there comes a point where a character can only develop and go through so much, and that once he reached that plateau of being the character that never smiled, never showed emotion, and was forever marked by his trauma, that's when he should have left. Because,
well, I mean, I think that's more of like the writer's fault because they chose to let him stagnate. He could have had something at the end where he was able to like reconcile with himself and like get over his trauma a bit, you know.
Yeah. You hear that, writers? Yeah.
They just like chose not to.
The writers made a lot of decisions that we don't agree with. You know what? This is off topic, but I was watching a POV on TikTok of Corona Minds because they just come up now, and they had taken clips from that scene of where like JJ like visits Reed in jail, and they for some reason they could see that tension they were trying to build because I think JJ was getting like looked at and caught by like other prisoners or whatever, and Reed's like, I don't want them looking at me. I'm like, Reed, what are you gonna do?
They tried so hard to make chemistry, and it just
there was
didn't work.
none.
It just didn't work.
I'll never agree with what they did towards the end.
I won't agree either. I'll disagree. Fat disagree.
You feel more drawn to places with a bustling and busy atmosphere than to more quiet and intimate ones.
Disagree.
You think it's a middle disagree or fat disagree?
I think it's a middle disagree.
You like discussing different views and theories on what the world could look like in the future.
I feel like he might. If he does, it's not very big. Like, I feel like he has to, because we just said he doesn't have he's more detail oriented than like a big picture kind of guy. I just feel like he doesn't look into the future all that much.
Well, I feel like he's the type of person who's made peace with the fact that like sometimes worrying about the future is unnecessary. You just gotta do what you do now.
Yeah, I think he's a very kind of live in the present, do what you can now kind of person.
Yeah. You're like, I think it's like a small disagree then. I think it's a person who doesn't really have time for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And he probably doesn't even see the purpose in doing that.
Why worry about the future when you can like do your best now?
Yeah. And save people. When it comes to making life-changing choices, you mostly listen to your heart rather than your head.
I don't think so.
It's a pretty fat disagree.
Yeah.
I trying to think when Hotch has ever acted emotionally outside of Haley's situation. Oh, yeah, I can't think of it.
I can't think of anything.
So I think, is it a fat disagree or a middle disagree?
I think it's a fat disagree.
You cannot imagine yourself dedicating your life to the study of something that you cannot see, touch, or experience.
I mean,
isn't that kind of what he's done?
Kinda, yeah.
Because,
I mean, they do tackle the unsubs, but they like their whole job is like discovering things in their psyche.
Yeah. A big part of it is, you know, it comes up often when they travel to places. There always be that one person who just doubts profiling. They're like, it's a pseudoscience that doesn't actually work.
Yeah.
So I think it's a bad disagree.
For sure.
You usually prefer to get your revenge rather than forgive.
I don't think we should count the Haley situation.
Maybe we should. It's very different.
I think he would forgive.
I think. Well, I mean, the thing is, this kind of conflicts earlier because I was like, oh, he kind of seems as a person who would hold grudges, but I think I was thinking very much unsub-oriented.
Yeah. I think in like his personal life, I think he would forgive.
Okay. So is it like I think
it's different when it's like an unsub or like someone who's like really terrible and like wouldn't apologize or try to make amends. That's different.
I can't think of a team member that like outside of maybe Garcia, who would do well in like forgiving an unsub.
Yeah.
Or like making peace with that. So I think it's a middle disagree.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, maybe a small disagree. Or do you think it's a middle disagree?
Well, I feel like even if he doesn't forgive, I don't feel like he'd like take vengeance on people.
Oh yeah.
So I feel like it's a middle disagree.
Okay. You have to make decisions on a whim.
No.
It's a fat disagree.
Yeah.
Hotch head full. His head's never been empty.
His brain is so wrinkled.
The time you spend by yourself often ends up being more interesting and satisfying than time you spend with other people.
No, I don't think so.
I think when you compare hunting down unsubs to doing paperwork.
Yeah, I feel like he's not super social. Like he wouldn't go out to a bar or something probably super often. But he likes being with others. He likes being with his team and like his family and his friends.
Yeah. But I think that has a lot to do with the team's weird aura of codependency.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, it's also sometimes it's a bit unhealthy of how much they rely on each other. Because it's hard. I've never seen them talk about their problems with people that weren't on the team or weren't in some way.
I think it was very self-aware on the writer's part to have like the therapist tell Reed he hasn't had a conversation with someone who wasn't a coworker or about work in like months. Honestly, I wouldn't have been surprised if they like ended season 15 with like them all becoming like a big poly relationship.
Ew.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Like that was just so uncomfortable. Says the person who literally when did this ship episode ever ship were like, I don't like it.
Maybe it could just be a platonic poly relationship.
Isn't that what they already have?
Yes.
The time you spend by yourself on that's like a middle disagree. Alright, I mean
okay, we're still on that one. Yeah, I think it's a middle disagree too.
you often put special effort into interpreting the real meaning or the message of a song or a movie. Special effort.
I think small agree.
Honestly, I think so because he seems like the person who would low-key, like, well, because he does analysis work for a living.
Yeah, he would analyze the movie.
It'd be hard to turn it off.
Yeah.
I think it's a small agree. Or
he would definitely figure out the ending of a movie before it happened.
do you remember that time we were in Australian literature class and he made us analyze like a song by Bob Dylan for no reason?
Yeah.
Well, do you remember the reason?
Well, we were reading Dante's Inferno, and it was like a poetic whatever, and it was like it would be practice. Oh no, I think the song drew inspiration from Dante's Inferno in some way, because there are a lot of things we went over like that. Do I remember the song? No. Do I care? No.
I know it was by Bob Dylan, but I don't remember the title of the song. You often put special. Yeah, I think small agree.
I think he definitely watched Star Wars, and then like it was like, Luke, I am your father, and everyone else gasped, and he was like, I know.
He strikes me as someone whose favorite movies are only, like really well, like not gonna say like popular classic films. Like he's probably not a big fan of just popular films straight up. Like I don't think he likes the new Star Wars or like I don't think he likes a lot of that big franchise stuff. But I definitely he's like the same person whose like favorite movie is probably like Shawshank Redemption or something like that.
I like Shawshank Redemption.
I haven't seen it.
You should watch it. It's really good.
Yeah, it's a small agree. You always know exactly what you want.
I don't think he knows.
What do you mean?
I mean, I think he knows what he wants, but I don't think he knows what he needs.
That's different. I think it's a fat agree. He knows what he wants.
Okay, yeah, fine. He knows what he wants on a conscious level.
He's the kind of person who doesn't need to look up. Well, I feel like he would look up the menu of a restaurant before going, but it's not because he's nervous, but it's because he doesn't want to waste time.
Yeah.
Yeah. You rarely think back on the choices you made and wonder what you could have done differently.
Did he look back on his divorce with Haley? Was there any, like... Because I think he was, like... I think he looked back on it, but I don't think he was, like, thinking about what he could have done, because he couldn't make any other decision.
I think he regrets the fact that he and Haley had a divorce, but I don't think he looked back on any of his actions and was like, I wish I hadn't done that.
Because he had to do what he did, because he felt like his job is more important. Well, not more important, but he needed to be there. So.
You think it's like a small degree? Or... I'm thinking of other situations, because the Haley situation is so weird and specific.
Small things.
I'm trying to think of when he did that with like an unsub, and he regretted acting the way he did. I've never seen him regret on like the way he functioned within a case.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I think it's like a
middle degree.
Yeah.
How many of these pages are there?
We're 60% of the way through.
Oh, okay.
And we need to fill up the hour anyways. When in a public place, usually stick in quieter and less crowded areas. That's kind of big fact.
Didn't we already ask that?
This test.
It's repetitive.
I think it's a middle degree.
Yeah.
You tend to focus on present realities rather than future possibilities.
Yeah, I think so.
You think it's a middle degree?
Yeah.
You often have a hard time understanding other people's feelings. It's hard.
I think he could understand. I just don't know if he'd be super considerate of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean it's hard to know, because I think in context of like a normal person, it'd be hard for him. But like when it's an unsub, he breaks it down so easily.
Yeah.
And he does it flawlessly, but like with an actual person that isn't a psychopath.
Mhm. Yeah.
I think anyone would be good.
I think he'd definitely be the type of person to be like, I understand why you did that, but that doesn't make it okay. Or like.
Yeah, definitely.
I think he would understand, but he would remove that completely from like what happened.
Oh yeah, because he's such a logical based person. Do you think it's like a small degree then, or a middle degree?
Well, I think it's a disagree.
Oh really? You often have a hard time saying it.
So I think he understands them.
Okay.
Like especially in his work, he has to.
Yeah, I guess that is different from empathizing.
Mm-hmm.
So you think it's a small disagree or a big disagree?
Small. Or maybe middle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When starting to work on a project, you prefer to make as many decisions up front as possible. Some of these questions are very like abstract.
Do you think he would make decisions first, or would he wait and get more information?
When starting to work, I think you like to make decisions first.
I just don't feel like he's a very kind of snap judgment kind of person.
That's true.
I feel like he definitely wouldn't like procrastinate on it, but I think he'd wait a bit and get more information and like.
He doesn't do that thing that Gideon did, where as soon as one thing clicked, he was like, let's deliver the profile. It was definitely like, we'll build on this.
Remember in the first couple seasons when they did all of the, like, the surroundings would change?
Oh, yeah.
When they were thinking about it, they, like, stopped that when Gideon left.
That's true.
That was a very Gideon type thing.
I wonder why they stopped that.
I don't know.
Because, no, they didn't stop that. I do remember sometimes...
Well, it dwindled down.
It definitely dwindled down, and yeah. I'm trying to think of why they stopped.
Because they used to do it every episode.
To be fair, though, the stylings of TV shows changes, like, a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Years. If you compare the way the earlier seasons were filmed to just, like, later seasons, it's just because of, like, media and the way it changes. Like, watch earlier Supernatural episodes, and it's kind of nuts.
She's rewatching Supernatural.
I am rewatching all of Supernatural.
And some of you people might know what happened in season 15, and I do.
I don't.
But she does not.
I don't.
And I want her to find out what happens so we can talk about it.
Yeah, I'm rewatching the beginning because I realized I don't remember a lot of the plot. It isn't like Criminal Minds where I've seen it 4 times.
It's not important for you to understand season 15.
I think it is. I'm rewatching Supernatural and I forgot so many of the big plot points.
I can't remember any of them right now. Sam had demon blood. That's it.
God, I don't even remember why or the context of anything. I'm just waiting until Castiel shows up.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like till season
3 or 4 or something.
I have to watch so many until I get
Just
them.
skip to them.
No!
That's what I do.
No, but the thing is, I enjoy the early seasons so much because it's so case-oriented.
That's true. That's true.
And then shit hits the fan season 4 because they're like trying to save the world at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And that's such like a season 14, 13 kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you don't get to saving the world until like that. But then again, I don't think they really saw the longevity of the show. They were probably like, I don't know.
They were definitely like, this is gonna end soon. And it did not.
Little did they know. Dude, I remember like in the past few years, just every time Supernatural get renewed for a new season, I was like, really?
What are they gonna do?
Like, I wasn't mad, but I was like, oh wow.
It's not mad, just confused.
Just some legs on it. Okay. This is like a middle disagree.
When starting to work on a project, prefer to make as many decisions upfront as possible. I think a small disagree.
Okay. When you know someone thinks highly of you, you also wonder how long it will be until they become disappointed in you.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I think he's pretty stable self-esteem.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's also like a super cool badass and super intelligent, so I think that probably helps.
Yeah, so I think would you say it's a fat or a middle disagree?
Middle.
Okay. You feel comfortable just walking up to someone you find interesting and striking up a conversation?
No.
No. I think it's a pretty fat disagree.
Yeah, I think so.
You often drift away in daydreaming about various ideas or scenarios.
No.
I've never seen...
If he did, I wouldn't quantify it as daydreaming.
Oh yeah. It's Hotch thinking
he might
about the
think,
case.
but no.
He might think.
He might think.
Sometimes he doesn't, and it's kind of weird.
You might think, but it's not daydreaming.
Can I bring this up? We were watching Twilight with one of our friends last night, and that I don't know if anyone remembers the small details of Twilight, but like a big thing of why Edward was like quote unquote attracted to Bella was because he couldn't read her thoughts like he could with everyone, and we were just saying it's because Bella doesn't think. Bella's just head.
Her brain is smooth.
Her brain is smooth.
I laughed so hard when she was like sleeping, and then it pans, and he's just there in the bedroom. I almost fell off the couch.
The way they edited that was so horrible because it was.
I love the camera work.
The camera
in the first Twilight movie.
Oh my god,
revolutionary. The scene when they're in the woods and it just goes, and then it cuts to above, and then it cuts to a below, and then it just swings around, and they're still talking.
The shots in Twilight very much read to me as like shots that we would take because we think they're cool. They definitely don't contribute.
It was
to
a
the
practice. It was definitely like a director who was like practicing.
They definitely don't contribute to the movie as a whole.
Oh no.
And the whole movie is colored so weirdly.
I mean, it's just tinted.
It's just blue the entire time, and it's never adjusted. Anyways, I'm trying to think of. I don't know.
What was the question again?
You often drift away into daydreaming about various ideas or scenarios. That's like.
I think maybe small disagree because I think he does think, but I don't think it's like whimsical like daydreaming.
Imagine if one of these questions was, you think.
Disagree. Disagree for me.
Okay, I know the answer to this one. You look after yourself first and others come in second.
I don't think so.
It's a fat disagree.
Yeah.
I don't think Hotch has ever looked after himself first.
No, not really.
I can't think of a specific situation where he was like, me. Actually, yeah, I think it's a medium disagree. Because the only time I can think of he's done that...
He's not, like, suicidal or, like...
No.
He takes care of himself.
Yeah.
But he takes care of others, too.
The only time I can ever think of he's done anything close to being selfish, and I wouldn't call this selfish even, was when he took a job and then he left.
Yeah.
But then
I feel like that's kind of the opposite of selfish. Because I think selfish would be like not taking the job.
That's true.
Because he was putting the possible victims above himself in his relationship.
It was definitely a battle of loyalty to his family and to saving people.
Yeah.
So I think it's a fad disagree.
Yeah.
Even when you have planned a particular daily routine, you usually just end up doing what you feel like at any given moment.
No.
It's a fat disagree.
Fat disagree.
I agree with that though. I can't. No matter how hard I try, with a routine, I just can't fucking do it.
I can't do it either.
Life to me is like jazz. Just playing notes and faking it.
You can write down a plan, but it's mostly gonna be scatting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not saying in the same key. Your mood can change very quickly. Can it?
No. I don't think so.
To what?
I think he's pretty steady.
What would Hotch's mood change to? Angry to less angry?
He's a very, very pulled out sign graph.
Yeah. Oh god, remember sign graphs?
I think he's a sign graph with an X over 40.
See, you're in college, so you know what that means, kind of.
I could be wrong.
I don't.
Graphs confuse me sometimes.
Did I tell you that one of my future YouTube videos is going to be me trying to teach myself physics again?
Why?
Because I think it'd be hilarious. You would see me have a mental breakdown on camera.
Sinead's skipping one of the physics classes.
Why?
I'm like, you should take the easy one with me.
Yeah. What?
Because they let her. Because she got the AP grade. So she's going into the second one. Though, I'm taking the first one this coming quarter, and she's taking the second one in the spring quarter. So we are going to be taking the second one at the same time.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
So can your mood change very quickly?
No, he's a very pulled out sign graph.
Yeah. Is it a fat disagree or a middle disagree?
Middle disagree. He can change. It's just not quick.
You try. You often... Okay, before we move on, I've been wanting to say this since the beginning of the podcast. I don't think anyone's going to care or not notice. I acknowledge my foundation is slightly orangish. It's been bothering me.
I didn't notice.
Since I put it on.
I don't think anyone would notice.
I think... am I not someone...
You can blame the lighting.
I can't now. I'm exposed.
You could cut it out.
Editing? No.
Okay.
I just want to pay someone to edit these.
We're not getting money for this. This would be a negative investment.
I just want to pay someone to edit these.
Go for it.
I can't think of anyone who would do this though. It's very lowbrow editing.
I mean, we could just pay Kathleen.
I could. Really? How much would we have to pay Kathleen?
I don't know, $5.
I'll pay for it. Honestly, $5 not
I'll ask her.
Every
I'll
week,
ask her.
a weekly $5. I do it.
That's my sister, by the way. If you're watching, hi Kathleen. Do you want to edit our videos?
This is us formally offering you a job.
I don't think she watches all of them.
Does she watch any of them?
I gave her the account thing. I don't know if she made it through a full episode. She hasn't watched any Criminal Minds.
It freaks me out because the people have seen this episode that I never thought, podcast, I never thought would. Your mom has seen the podcast, and that scares me.
I actually made it through a full episode.
Yeah, but she's seen it, and that's frightening. A couple of our friends have seen it that we didn't send it to. No, we did, but
it's hard to find.
No, we're one of the top podcasts.
I typed Wheels Up into YouTube, and I couldn't find it.
It never comes up.
That's because it's very small.
I hate that. Anyways, you know what's funny though? That Jenna Marbles edit I did on my YouTube channel. Someone commented, I typed in Jenna Marbles, and this is one of the first things that came up. And I was
That's such a big compliment, though.
I was like, I think it's probably because that person probably also likes Criminal Minds and Jenna Marbles, so it probably is tied to them. But the fact that it came up at all, also it's one of my most viewed videos. Anyways. Oh yeah, check out my YouTube channel in the description if you want to see an edit of Jenna Marbles into one of the Criminal Minds episodes. I think it's pretty
funny.
I think it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. You often contemplate the reasons for human existence or the meaning of life.
I don't think it's a big disagree, but I still feel like it's a disagree.
Yeah, it's a disagree.
Yeah.
I think it's a middle.
I think it's a small disagree.
Hi, sorry.
Hi.
Did you answer your text?
Yeah.
I did, yeah, he did too.
That's good.
Yes, today, right?
Yeah. god, he does that all the time.
He waits at the door.
He does that thing where he'll like half close it, and then I'm like, am I gonna have to get up? And then I'll get up, and he shuts it. I'm like, we're struggling to close the door or something.
My mom will open the door, talk to me, and then close it till it's a little bit, and then wait at the door for no reason, and like listen for like a minute, and then leave.
It's so weird. You often contemplate the reasons for human existence with me. No. It's pretty, I think it's a middle disagree. Well, maybe a fat one.
I thought it was a small disagree.
Why do you think it's a small disagree?
Because like I said before, I just think that type of job, like just having that much pressure and emotional stuff like put on you all the time, you kind of have to have some way of like reconciling that with yourself. Because he sees all the evil of the world. I just think he kind of has to think about that, at least sometimes.
Okay, yeah. I'll give it a small disagree then. This is funny. You often talk about your own feelings and emotions.
No.
Never.
I mean, he does it sometimes, so maybe a middle disagree.
Yeah, but that's literally only because he has to. It's when
he talks about it with Rossi sometimes.
Yeah, I guess so. You have got detailed education or career development plans stretching several years into the future.
Maybe. I don't know.
I can't see him. I mean, the thing is, this is the same problem that the entirety of the team has, is that they don't want to progress, I think, job-wise.
Because they want to stay with their family.
I don't think that's healthy. If, like, your relationship with your coworkers...
It doesn't have to be healthy. It's a show.
Jesus. Do not model your friendship.
You said you wanted them all to die in the end, so I don't know why you're complaining.
What does that have to do with anything? Look. It's not healthy. Okay?
I thought you were going to roll up like your sleeve and then be Criminal Minds tattoo there.
Imagine.
So you're like, look.
My thing is that, like, I don't like that they, like, it's so, like, staying with their team. Because I remember JJ to a point got offered a job, and it would have meant, like, more normal life and more of a normal schedule and spending time with their family.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that. That JJ was, like, you know.
I mean, to be fair, that job did end up being, like, working overseas with terrorist groups.
That's true.
And she was deeply traumatized by that.
But then the whole ending of all them leaving just doesn't make sense then.
It really doesn't. That's why I hate the ending.
What? I think it's a disagree. I think it's like a middle disagree.
I feel like before he joined the BAU, he had that, but then after he joined the BAU, he's like, I'll just stay here.
Yeah. Middle disagree.
Yeah.
You rarely dwell on your regrets. I feel like we've been asked this question 3 times already.
Oh, yeah. I think for big, I don't think he has a whole lot of regrets, but I think the ones he dwells on.
So, it's a middle agree? Big agree? Or small
I think
agree?
a small agree.
Spending time in a dynamic atmosphere with lots of people around quickly makes you feel drained and in need of a getaway.
I don't know if he feels drained. I don't know if he loves it, but I don't think he, like, hates it. I can leave if you want.
Yeah, I don't think, I mean, that reads as more of like I have social anxiety and I relate to the statement, but I don't read Hotch as someone who needs to recharge.
Yeah, I don't really think so.
I think it's like a small, well, I'm trying to think dynamic atmosphere. I mean, I think sometimes interrogation with an unsub is pretty dynamic, or like having to.
I think they're talking more about like a party or like a bar or something.
No.
A club.
Look into the abnormal.
Imagine watching a club.
Strobe
lights. Hotch standing there, perfectly still in his suit, and everyone's dancing around him.
Drinking all water. I think it's. Did you? I don't know. I can't think of anything of like whether I can't think of where this on the spectrum this is.
I I mean, I don't feel like he loves it, but I don't feel like... Maybe we should just put it in the middle.
Okay.
Because I feel like... I don't think he likes it, but I don't think he hates it.
Yeah. You see yourself more of a realist than a visionary.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Is it a fat agree or middle agree?
Middle agree.
You find it easy to empathize with the person who has gone through something you never have. Isn't that the job, though?
Empathize is a strong word. Like, I feel like he understands... What's the definition of empathy? I confuse empathy and sympathy.
The ability to understand and share the feelings of another.
Yeah, I don't feel like he'd share the feelings, you know what I mean? I feel like he'd understand, but he wouldn't feel the same feelings. Like, he might understand why an unsub did something, but he wouldn't feel, like, bad for them.
Do you think it's a small agree or a small disagree?
Small agree, maybe. Because he is able to, like...
Yeah.
He's pretty strong.
I promise I don't have COVID. It's just because we've been talking a lot and I don't drink a lot of water. Your personal work style is closer to spontaneous bursts of energy than to organized and consistent efforts.
Fat disagree.
Fat disagree. We're 90% of the way. I think this
Yes,
is the last
this is
one.
the last one. Okay.
Your emotions control you more than you control them. It's a fat disagree.
Yeah.
I've never seen someone less emotionally controlled.
He's so controlled.
After a long and exhausting week, a fun party is just what... Fun party just... That's everything.
That's how the end of every season!
That's how every case ends. Is that we need a party.
It is how every season ends.
That's true, but I don't think he needs it.
Nah.
I think that's just how things happen.
He definitely doesn't plan any of the parties.
Oh no.
He gets pulled into it.
Yeah, I think it's pretty middle disagree.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I think if it's a party with like the team, yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
But it's never like just a party. You frequently find yourself wondering how technological advancement could change everyday life.
No. I don't
Yeah.
think he cares.
Is that a fat disagree or a
Middle
disagree? You always consider how your actions might affect other people before doing something. Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
He
definitely thinks about things like that a lot.
Imagine your statement I just said. He definitely thinks about things.
You keep making the same joke.
I think it's hilarious. I'm trying to think of a joke. Oh, did I tell you that? Oh, I did. Oh, remember my new Unis Honest quote? I was gonna walk around saying this. I've said it like 5 times already today.
Yeah.
The ham and cheese thing.
Ham and cheese.
Okay, okay. Sorry to anyone who like this triggers, but Unis Honest, I watched it.
You're gonna say this.
Stop it!
I didn't watch it.
If this ever blows up, go to Mary's Instagram and comment Unis Honest on all our pictures.
I rarely go on Instagram. I don't care.
It'll be forever tainted. Anyways, there's an episode where Mark has to teach Ethan how to play the trumpet in marching band, and Ethan sometimes just goes into character, and then he's like, "When's lunch?" And then Mark's like, "We don't do lunch." And he's like, "Ham and cheese sandwiches? You don't want the crust? You don't have to have the crust."
Yeah, you did not tell me.
I've been saying that I've said that 5 times today already.
Okay.
I'm never gonna stop. What was I even saying? Oh, the dumb idiot thing. That's what I was trying to talk about.
That's what I thought you were talking about.
It's changed already. I'm gonna treat him as honest the way I treat John Mulaney specials. I'm just endlessly quoting it.
It could be 365 days of a different Unis Honest quote, and you never do it again.
No! You always consider. Oh yeah, that's a big agree. I think it's a fat agree.
Mm-hmm.
You still honor the commitments you've made, even if you have a change of heart.
I think he does.
I think it's a. I agree.
Yeah.
And we don't even need to discuss it. Is it a middle agree or is it?
Middle agree, I think.
You rarely feel insecure.
I think that's true. But maybe a small agree.
Yeah. Because I think, I would say middle, actually. Unless you disagree.
No, that's fine.
This is gonna be edited into a compilation. Why the co-host of Will
What if we've just been doing it wrong every time and agree and disagree or switch?
You're gender optional. This will just determine your avatar. It has nothing to do with the actual personality. Probably male.
Okay. I don't think they did that when I took it. but I took it 2 years ago, so.
Oh, he is an ISTJA. That's way different than our INFP.
Yeah.
His mind.
I can't pronounce that.
Logistician?
I'm very impressed. Someone has thoughts.
Okay. Let's look at the categories. So, mind. This trait determines how we interact with our environment. 74% introverted. That's true. It's pretty much like when he needs to, he can do it.
Yeah.
But he would prefer not to. Energy. This trait shows where we direct our mental energy. 69%.
Observant?
That's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Because I think when you're like a profiler, you need to be pretty observant. Nature. 51% thinking, 49% feeling. I think it's a little off.
Yeah. I feel like we very purposefully
Did-
put, like, no feeling.
Yeah. This should say sociopathic. Dude, you know, one of our episodes we should take one of those like really inaccurate like are you a sociopath test online to see if we're sociopaths. Okay, tactics. This trait reflects our approach to work, planning, and decision making. 85% judging, 15% prospecting. What's prospecting?
What does that mean?
Prospecting?
Approach to work, planning, and decision making.
Judging versus what's prospecting?
Maybe it's thinking into the future? Decision making.
Look up prospecting. The possibility. Oh, so yeah.
Yeah.
Consider possibilities.
So I think that's accurate.
Yeah. Identity. 71% assertive, 29% turbulent. That's true. I just like the idea of describing someone as turbulent. I get someone being assertive, but imagine just knowing someone like, yeah, they're pretty turbulent.
I think that the avatar looks like Joe Biden.
Yeah. I don't know why when you said Joe Biden, I thought Bernie Sanders. He's been on my
He doesn't look like Bernie Sanders.
He's been
Bernie
on my-
Sanders would not stand like that. Bernie Sanders would be like,
You know what, Bernie? I've been thinking a lot about Bernie Sanders lately for some reason. I think it's just me mourning the fact that, dude, not to get political, but I was
already gone political.
Yeah, I was very upset when Bernie didn't run.
Yeah.
He made the whole decision to drop out. But I understand the decision, but I was very upset. Start reading.
Do you think if Bernie had like won, he would have made AOC his VP?
I can't think of anyone else who would. Because, I mean, if Bernie is already elected, there's a good chance of the people accepting the fact that AOC would be his VP. You know?
Yeah.
It's not like, because if people are already electing Bernie, then you know people are ready for a much more radical take on the office. You know, people voted, Biden because he's not radical in a sense.
Moderate.
We're not going to get into politics too much. Anyways, should we... How long have we been recording? I feel like it's been over an hour.
I think it has been like an hour.
It's been an hour!
Alright!
We don't have to read the details.
You guys can look up this logistician.
Logistician. Yeah, you can look it up for yourselves. Oh, I should stop recording. Oh, wow, see, it's there. Anyways. So, now that we know everything there is to know about Hotch,
Yes.
this tells us it all. This is completely accurate. I don't think anyone would ever disagree with any of the things you said here.
I mean, the avatar had glasses.
What does that mean?
It means he's a thinker.
Only people with glasses think.
I think that's accurate.
If you have glasses, your head immediately full.
That's why my sister wears fake glasses when she goes to her Zoom classes.
Fun fact, I used to wear fake glasses all the time.
I know you did.
The fact that
She thought it was cool.
I didn't think it was. I thought it made me.
She thought she was hip.
Look better. I look back at pictures and I'm like, no, it didn't.
People thought they were real glasses until you're like, oh no, these are
People,
fake.
oh my god, the fact that people towards the end of the year used to associate the fact that I have a lot of like artsy friends, and so sometimes they just doodle me, like, because that's what sometimes you do, and a lot of time it was like, oh, I had glasses on, or like people,
She's a hipster.
people started to associate me with as someone who would wear glasses, and I'm like, oh, this is getting out of hand.
When I was little, I really wanted glasses because Bria had glasses, and I thought it was cool.
Priya wears contacts now, right?
Yeah,
Pretty much.
she switched to contacts in like 6th grade, and it really freaked me out. No, I wasn't. I think it was more like 4th grade. She switched to contacts, and I was like, no, don't.
Do you ever think about the idea of a content getting lost?
Don't want to think about it.
Like,
You know I can't do eyes. Have I told you that?
No.
I can't do eyes.
What do you mean you can't do eyes?
Like, I can... Like, the idea of just something in your eye, I can't.
You know, as a kid, I used to like look in the mirror and flash a light in my eyes to see my pupil dilate.
Like, you could have blinded yourself, though.
Honestly, it might be why I have astigmatism in my left eye. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this episode of the Wheels Up podcast. Please tune in next time for our next episode, which we have no idea what it's going to be about.
We'll see. We didn't know what this episode was going to be about until I arrived at Frankie's house.
Yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, share, and hit that bell.
Do it! Do it right now!
Hit that bell to know when we upload. Because, yeah. Bye!
Bye.